It's the Sunday of the Daytona 500. That's what it's all about. 130,000 spectators gathering to witness this running of a battle between Chevrolet and Ford and Dodge and cars that everyone can identify with.
The field lined up for the 1976 Daytona 500 with an unfamiliar face on the pole. For the only time in his brief NASCAR career, Ramo Stott was up front. It wasn't that his qualifying run was superior. A.J. Foyt, Darrell Waltrip, and Dave Marcus all had their qualifying runs disallowed when technical inspectors found irregularities in their cars. Waltrip and Marcus were in the second row by virtue of their wins in the twin 125s, but A.J. was stuck back in the 31st spot. Stott's moment of fame was brief, as Buddy Baker took off right away from the 5th spot and into the lead.
Down the 4,000-foot back straightaway, it's rush hour traffic at 185 miles per hour. Buddy Baker drops in below groove to take the lead. Richard Petty follows him through the hole and falls into second place. Baker in front, Petty second, Terry Ryan of Iowa third, while Darrell Waltrip's 88 runs fourth.
1968 winner Cale Yarborough lasted only one lap. Coming off a caution, Bobby Allison took the point with Pearson and Petty in hot pursuit. Allison led for a lap, but A.J. Foyt had worked his way through the field and suddenly was out in front.
The Mercury, number 2, driven by Allison, darts beneath Pearson to take the lead. Pearson second, Petty third, Foyt running fourth in the Chevrolet number 28. On the 17-degree tri-oval, Pearson high, Allison low. And when they enter turn 1, David Pearson and Richard Petty both pass Allison to take over first and second. A 500-mile race, run as if it was a 10-lap dash. A.J. Foyt decides he wants to go for the lead.
As the race wore on, cars wore out. Baker's engine blew. Pole sitter Ramo Stott had to retire. However, Foyt, Pearson, Petty, and Allison were still at it.
Pearson, number 21, passing A.J. Foyt, regaining the lead. Car 43, Richard Petty third, Allison's number 2 fourth. A.J. Foyt, 1972 Daytona 500 winner, explodes his Chevrolet number 28 past Pearson and reclaims the lead.
And then there were two. First, Bobby Allison exited, and 20 laps later, Foyt popped a valve spring. Suddenly, it was the NASCAR matchup, Petty versus Pearson. They traded the lead every 10 laps or so from 155 on, not including one lap for final pit stops. When the white flag came out, Petty was in the lead, Pearson was right behind, and the crowd was on its feet.
With Richard Petty by a half length, he goes into the first turn. Petty gets out the groove, he gets a little high, then pulls it right down to the center of the groove this time. Here's Pearson knocking on the door. David chops it down to 2 car lengths. He's right on the bumper, pulls it up and tightens it up as they come out of the corner. They pass Dave Marcus. He is pulled up, and here he goes down to the inside on Petty.
He shows his nose to the inside, the Purolator Mercury, and now a slower car in the way. David Pearson has the lead going into turn number 3. As they hit the banking, they're 3 abreast with a lap car. Pearson moves in front of the STP Dodge. Petty comes back to the inside. They almost touch as they move down low in the banking. They're going to be side by side as they exit the bank and head for the finish line.
Richard Petty goes back in front. They both spin. They're in the wall. Petty is sliding, slamming into the wall. He's coming down toward the finish line. Will he make it? He's still moving. The car stops 300, 400 feet shy of the finish line. Pearson is still running. Here's Petty trying to fire to come across the line. David Pearson moving down through as they come to the stripe. The winner is car number 21. It's going to be, I believe, Pearson's victory. We'll just have to wait and see.
He could not get in the corner wide open. I knew that. So I went on in the corner real high and stayed wide open. And when he slid up in front of him, I done exactly what I want to do. I moved down under him and felt like if we run side by side, then it would just be a nip and tuck deal. It'd be luck for anybody to win. And when I did, I got moved on around and the car broke loose and slid up into him. And once they'd done that, then both of us was all we could do to just try to keep them going in the right direction. And we didn't keep either one of them going in the right direction.
Well, after I hit the wall, I was still running, and I hollered on the radio, "Where's Richard?" Because I knew he had spun too, but I didn't know where he had passed the start and finish line or not. And I asked him had he passed, and they said no, he's sitting there. So I was trying to get going at all time and get ready, and go beat him across the line.
Does it mean more to you to win this race because of the jinx that you've had in this race, but not had in July?
I'm sure it does. I've tried to win this in so many times, and I've always had bad luck and not win. So it means a lot to win this one. Richard had won this one quite a few times and couldn't ever win the 400, and I was always winning the 400 and not this one. So maybe it just changes things around a little bit.
David Pearson won the Daytona 500 only once. It was the slowest, but ultimately the wildest win in Daytona 500 history.